They get less oversight than a barber shop, a beauty salon, or even your dog groomer, and yet they take care of what you love the most, your children. We're talking about daycare centers.
California ranks dead last, 50th in the country when it comes to inspecting daycares. We've teamed up with the Center for Investigative Reporting to uncover a system in disarray. Investigative reporter Stephen Stock is with us, and a lot of parents, included all of us, are curious about what you found.
Well, Jessica, we discovered that even top state officials cannot tell you much about the safety inspections of the state's daycares. They can't even tell you which daycares fail the most inspections, which ones have the most repeat offenses. They and parents simply do not know, because in California, the technologies primarily used to oversee daycares are ink and paper.
Is there any way we can see the license and inspection information?
With nothing less than the safety of California's smallest children at stake, take a listen to what parents face.
So you don't have anything that we can look at? No.
When they try to find reliable information about the quality and safety of their child's daycare.
We're wondering if you have your license and inspection we can look at?
I'm happy to tell you we don't have that. So I have nothing to provide to you.
According to state regulators, every child care center should have their latest inspection information on hand for parents. So we went undercover to test the system.
We are wondering how we can see your inspection report or your grade or whatever.
Have to talk to my boss.
Of the 10 daycares we asked, only 3 knew what we were talking about.
Well, do you have your inspection, your latest inspection?
Yeah, they came yesterday right there.
People at the rest of the daycares sent us to the state or elsewhere.
If you want that, you have to call licensing.
And can we see those reports online or where? So. No.
They can't. Right now, there is no way for parents in California, or anyone else for that matter, to view or compare daycare inspection records online. No way to tell which daycare passes and which ones fail basic rules and regulations.
I didn't know any of it.
Would you have liked to know?
Definitely.
Denise Davis had no idea that the daycare she sent her 3 kids to had a long list of basic safety violations.
I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. Here, let's put on your socks.
But when Davis found out her infant daughter was taking naps in her car seat, she pulled her kids out.
I wasn't comfortable with that. That's not what we had discussed.
Then last year, inspectors finally closed the place down after they caught another child strapped in a car seat in a closet.
I just think that we should, as parents, as the public, if it's public records, we should be able to view it and have it accessible to us.
I wasn't able to get these records myself for my own child.
So Catherine Miskowski with the Center for Investigative Reporting teamed up with NBC Bay Area. We discovered that inspection records simply don't exist online, and we uncovered an antiquated, underfunded system that oversees the safety and welfare of California's 1.1 million children in daycare.
We found that California does not make it easy for parents to find out what the state knows about the daycares where they're sending their children.
Other states, such as Florida and Texas, have had these records online and searchable for years, in some cases more than a decade. That's why Child Care Aware of America, in this 2013 report, ranked California 3rd from dead last, 50th out of 52 in a quality and oversight ranking of all states, plus the District of Columbia and the U.S. Department of Defense.
It's just not acceptable.
Kim Johnson serves as Public Policy Director at California's Child Care Resource and Referral Network.
These are our children. I mean, we're talking about babies, we're talking about toddlers, our preschoolers.
California's state auditor recognized this problem back in 2006, but in these recent updates of recommendations not fully implemented, the auditor found California's Department of Social Services still has done nothing to modernize the system.
Why can't I just go online and get this information? Why can't I compare?
Again, unfortunately, the way that our system works, we don't have an easy way. We don't even have a difficult way at the moment. We don't have a way of taking the information that's in this system and putting it up online.
Pat Leary is Chief Deputy Director at California's Department of Social Services.
We are trying to get something available because we recognize the need and the expectation, and it's a fair expectation.
Leary's office oversees the licensing, training, and inspecting of all daycare centers, family daycare homes, infant care centers, and school-age daycare centers. 48,000 facilities in all.
Now, when you do these inspection reports, you find violations. How do you track them? Can you tell me what's the worst daycare? What has the most violations?
We have, I started to mention before, our technology system that we have, and how it is a system, it is infrastructure. It is not what we would like it to be in order to get the most detail statewide.
According to Leary, the records are kept in the 1990s Windows program Lotus 123 and in boxes, pre-internet, with no way of analyzing that data to compare facilities.
It didn't conceive of this idea of being able to aggregate data up, to be able to get statewide reports and be able to say, you know, where's the facility with the worst and how can we track this and track that.
Even more troubling, by law, regulators here in the state are only required to inspect daycares once every 5 years. Other states require at least once-a-year inspections. Some states require them twice a year.
That child could go the span of their program in that time without ever having an inspection to make sure that this program is meeting some basic standards.
I think there should definitely be more resources and tools available to parents.
We know we need a new system. We know that's in the future.
Now, earlier this month, Assemblyman Ian Calderon introduced a new bill in Sacramento which would require yearly unannounced inspections. The federal government is also expected to implement a policy to require all states to publish this information online. California officials, however, say that will cost millions of dollars and take years to put into place. Now, you can find all the Center of Investigative Reporting's full article, plus a map listing all these daycares on our website. Just go to NBCBayArea.com. There's one other way you can get information. Drive to Sacramento and ask for it. That's it.
We'll check our website instead.
There you
Valuable
go.
information. All right. Thank you, Stephen. Profound mistakes and an embarrassment. Those words today from state lawmakers.
Prompted by our investigation, these lawmakers are now questioning the oversight of caregivers for the elderly and our children. Investigative reporter Stephen Stock exposed the story earlier. And Stephen, you got the attention of parents and lawmakers here.
That's exactly right, Raj. There was a lot of frustration in the hearing room at the Capitol today. As one witness put it, right now, the only true oversight of a facility that they have to worry about is when someone actually complains to the state. Otherwise, they don't worry at all. It's a system that some lawmakers now vow to change.
And what we realized was we were dealing with the consequences of a completely outdated management information system.
In testimony before a joint hearing of the Senate and Assembly Human Services Committees, the director of California's Department of Social Services admitted that his office had made mistakes in the past, and he vowed to pour resources into fixing them.
I want to assure you that our staff leadership team have been learning from those mistakes.
From the director on down, a list of more than a dozen witnesses painted a picture of the same thing. A broken and antiquated system of oversight of facilities that house and care for the elderly as well as young children. A system developed and implemented nearly a quarter century ago, one that hasn't been upgraded since, one that still depends on the nearly obsolete computer program Lotus Notes.
And I hope we don't let this crisis go. I hope we really can use this as a way to put an infrastructure in place that allows more information to be collected, more information to be shared.
While this hearing was specifically aimed at getting to the lack of oversight of residential care facilities for the elderly, our investigation into the very same issues governing daycare facilities for children also became part of the discussion.
Is that a broken system as well?
I wouldn't call it a broken system. What is obviously missing, and it was raised in your report, was the availability of an online database.
Is there any way we can see the license and inspection information?
This attention in Sacramento follows a joint investigation by NBC Bay Area and the Center for Investigative Reporting, first aired last month. After months of digging, we found a system in disarray.
These problems have been around for a long time, and so we have really put some kids in harm's way.
Now, Director Lightbourne says that a true rigorous data system is years and as much as $20 million away. Meantime, he says Social Services hopes to post a temporary, rudimentary daycare tool with basic 3-year inspection histories online by this spring. Trouble is, right now, state law only requires daycares to be inspected once every 5 years. And that's something other lawmakers told me today they vow to change this legislative session. We'll be watching. Raj, Jessica.
More inspections and better accountability. That's what lawmakers are calling for in California's daycare centers.
This stems from our investigation, which exposed a decades-old inspection system that leaves parents in the dark when it comes to information about daycares.
Investigative reporter Stephen Stock is here now with more on a new proposed law, all because of our story. Stephen?
Diane, Raj, we teamed with the Center for Investigative Reporting to expose California's failing grades on daycare inspections. That prompted state lawmakers to demand change. They have now proposed 2 different laws with sweeping improvements to the system. And our investigative unit is taking its own action to make sure these records are available for you online.
These are our most vulnerable members of our society. And we're saying we don't care.
Freshman Representative Ian Calderon isn't married and does not have kids.
This is our future. Children are our future.
But that's not stopping him from leading the charge to change state law about how California oversees and regulates its daycares. He's pushing for more inspections more often.
This is our job. We are not doing it, and we need to now do it.
How will your proposed bill affect the inspection and safety of children in daycares right now?
What my bill does is it puts somebody in these child care facilities once a year, which is unannounced. So you'll have a frequency of inspections which will further constitute better compliance with the law because they know we're going to be coming.
And we were wondering if we could see your license and your inspection.
Last month, we went undercover to show daycares not complying with even the most basic state law requirements, to show safety inspection reports to anyone who asks.
So you could call child care licensing? So you don't have anything that we can look at? No.
We teamed with the Center for Investigative Reporting and also found an inspection system so outdated that records are available only in paper form at regional and state offices, not online.
And unfortunately, the way that our system works, we don't have an easy way. We don't even have a difficult way at the moment. We don't have a way of taking the information that's in this system and putting it up online.
Pat Leary with the Department of Social Services oversees nearly 48,000 daycares where 1.1 million children go every day. Leary told us the current system does not allow even her department to analyze the data.
It didn't conceive of this idea of being able to aggregate data up, to be able to get statewide reports and be able to say, you know, where's the facility with the worst and how can we track this and track that.
I'm embarrassed, I'm frustrated.
That's why Assemblywoman Cristina Garcia wants the records online. Garcia has introduced yet another bill that would require California's Department of Social Services to bite the bullet and make these records accessible on the web to everyone.
At the end of the day, we have a responsibility to our community. And so for me, it just kind of felt like common sense that we should have as much information as possible for parents to make an informed decision.
And I went, wow, we just got to do this.
Senator Jean Fuller of Bakersfield is sponsoring Garcia's bill in the state Senate.
All it's going to cost is the amount of time it takes to scan it in. I think that whatever that cost is, it will be less than the terrible human consequences that can happen if we don't do this.
But we aren't waiting for the state law to get passed. We again teamed up with the Center for Investigative Reporting to do what California has yet to do. Take all Bay Area daycare public inspection records, aggregate them, and put them online. Our team began scanning in all the inspection records of nearly 150 daycare centers and family daycare homes in Napa County. And coming soon, we'll be adding to our database and to the records that parents and the public can read online on our websites.
I think the government got lazy. We let budget cuts be an excuse. We let that be a crutch to where we have a complaint-based system that isn't proactive, and we need to be proactive.
Now, Calderon's bill has already passed a committee in the Assembly, and Garcia's bill is scheduled for a public hearing next month. As for those daycare inspection records, we're not waiting on the state. Our team is currently working to put those records online for you. You can follow our entire project on our websites. Just go to NBCBayArea.com or CIROnline.org. And we'll stay on this story. Raj, Diane?
All right, thank you, Stephen. Some impactful reporting there. No records and no easy access. That's the way it's been when it comes to safety information about local daycare centers for kids. until now.
Tonight, we post some of those inspection documents online. It's the first time it's been done in California. Investigative reporter Stephen Stock and our team have been working for months to make those records more easily available for parents. Stephen joins us now.
Jessica, for the last 6 months, we teamed with the Center for Investigative Reporting, first to expose this black hole in transparency and accountability, and now to put some of those records online. We started in Napa County because it's small, but we just posted hundreds of records for child care centers here in Santa Clara County as well.
Hello, I'm from NBC Bay Area. I'm looking for...
No one at the daycares we visited wants to talk on camera about this. Thousands of deficiencies cited by state inspectors, information not easily accessible to parents, information that could jeopardize children's safety.
It's like, oh my God, that's the school that my child's in.
Parents Amanda Lipscomb and Amber Neal certainly want to talk about it now.
It makes it very hard to trust anyone.
The couple was shocked when parents and daycare staff started complaining about conditions at De Colores Children's Center in San Jose, a center where they were sending their 2-year-old daughter Riley.
It's very emotional for all of us as parents.
What they didn't know, De Colores' inspection history. These records show the daycare had been cited and fined numerous times by state inspectors. 7 different violations since last December.
If we would have known some of these issues prior to putting Riley in the school, we would have never done that.
They aren't alone in not having easy access to these records.
It absolutely shouldn't be this difficult.
Denise Ross also pulled her kids out of De Colores.
This is horrifying.
Ross says the inspection records need to be more available for parents to protect kids.
If we can't protect our most vulnerable in our society, what does it say about us as a society?
For the last 6 months, NBC Bay Area has teamed with the Center for Investigative Reporting to expose how little information about daycare inspections is easily available. We hand-entered every inspection record from the last decade for the largest county in the Bay Area, 584 child care centers in Santa Clara County, and the smallest county, all 140 child care centers and family daycare homes in Napa County. Those records, which were always public, are now on our websites.
We understand the frustration of not being able to get it.
Pat Leary is in charge of daycare inspections for the state. No one from her department would talk with us on camera about our new findings. But in January, Leary admitted the state cannot track which daycares are performing well or poorly.
I mean, that is the limitation of the system as we currently have it, is it doesn't allow an easy way to collect, sort, and analyze data.
So we did that too. In Santa Clara County, we found hundreds of deficiencies among daycare centers. Common among them, lack of supervision of children, children being left alone, or poor sanitation of food prep. Other write-ups we found, a child left in the parking lot, a child pinched as punishment, staff threatening to call police if kids didn't nap, or a child with peanut allergy given a peanut butter and jelly sandwich even though the teacher knew the child was allergic. That last incident happened at Primary Plus on Bucknell Road in Saratoga, a daycare with 39 deficiencies during the last 10 years and $2,150 in fines. Also among the deficiencies, no criminal background check filed on a staffer, too few adults watching too many children. Owner Carol Freitas would not talk on camera, but did tell us in an email that, quote, none of the violations related to the quality of child care received, and all violations have since been cleared by the state. In Napa County, we crunched the numbers and found 12 different centers with 24 or more violations each, including this one, Children's Cottage Preschool, and this one, Children's Cottage Infant Center, both under the same owner. Combined, they had 194 deficiencies over a 10-year period, many for inadequate adult supervision, like a child wandering away and their whereabouts were not known by staff. And on 2 different occasions, children pulled down their pants, once touching each other's genital areas, all without any adult noticing. All of this landed Children's Cottage on 3 years probation. And we just learned the state is moving to revoke the license and shut down Children's Cottage outright. Hello? When we went to Children's Cottage to get an explanation, we were told to turn off the camera.
Filming?
We are now.
Can you stop?
Okay, we'll stop. Later, the owner-administrator Ray Welch told us on the phone that his attorney would not let him talk on camera, but he did say, quote, "State licensing is doing their job and we're doing our job." He added, "No serious harm has come to a child."
It shouldn't be this hard to get any information from the state of California.
None of this sits well with parents like Amanda Lipscomb and Denise Ross.
It's not like I completely give over my parenting to the state of California. Absolutely not. I'm a parent. I'm going to be active. I'm going to look. But are you going to make it so difficult for me to understand what's going on and how I should be looking at these daycares and these preschools? Why is it so difficult?
Now, the state will hold a hearing on whether to shut down Children's Cottage beginning October 14th. Meantime, the daycare remains open and children still remain in its care. We tried several times to get a comment from the leaders at Day Caloris, but we never heard back from anyone. You can read the full reply from Primary Plus on our website. And some of these records have issues so troubling, we really can't talk about them on TV. But if you're a parent, you will want to review them. You can find them all these records, on our websites, NBCBayArea.com or CIROnline.org. We'll stay on this story. Guys?
Well, if you're a parent, you will find this remarkable because this year has seen major improvements when it comes to protecting children in California's daycares.
And that's a direct result of an NBC Bay Area investigation with the Center for Investigative Reporting. Stephen Stock has been on this since last year, joining us now with the very latest. Stephen.
Peggy, Jessica, California may still rank near the bottom in the nation when it comes to daycare inspections, but this year the state took a big step towards better protecting its children. That includes a new website and a new law, all designed to help parents pick safe and quality daycare.
Is there any way we can see the license and inspection information?
Our undercover investigation shed light on an inspection and safety verification system in California that had kept parents in the dark for years.
Is that up to me?
Our investigation also uncovered little state oversight of daycares or the availability of simple safety inspection information on daycares for parents.
So you don't have anything that we can look at? No.
The Department of Social Services oversees nearly 48,000 daycares in California, where 1.1 million children go every day.
We're wondering if you have your license and inspection we can look at?
I'm happy to tell you we don't have that. So I have nothing to provide to you.
Back in January, even state officials admitted that the current system of overseeing and regulating daycares in California was antiquated and underfunded.
This is horrifying.
After our reporting, Bay Area parents like Denise Ross demanded action.
If we can't protect our most vulnerable in our society, what does it say about us as a society?
And unfortunately, the way that our system works, we don't have an easy way. We don't even have a difficult way at the moment. We don't have a way of taking the information that's in this system and putting it up online.
So that's what we did. Last summer, the investigative unit spent months scanning and putting the records for Napa County and Santa Clara County daycares online, something that had never been done before. Then the state followed suit.
I was just happy to be able to get this far along with this process.
Assemblywoman Christina Garcia represents an urban area southeast of Los Angeles. After our initial investigation, Representative Garcia sponsored and helped pass a new law that now requires the state to publish its inspection records online and to update them. It's now easy for parents to check those inspection histories of their daycares with just a few mouse clicks.
I think your reporting helped to ensure that the rest of the legislators were informed of this problem.
But Garcia says the job isn't over.
I think our biggest issue is making sure that we have enough personnel that's trained and able to get out there and do the investigations, and how do we beef up quickly.
Last month, President Barack Obama signed the Child Care and Development Block Grant into law. The law requires annual inspections of all daycares. Right now, California only inspects its daycares once every 5 years under the law.
That needs to change immediately.
Kim Johnson serves as policy director at California's Child Care Resource and Referral Network. Johnson has advocated for more information for parents about their child's care.
And we did hear directly from families who, went for a search for child care and didn't know where to turn.
Johnson says putting the inspection records online is a good first step. But she says California needs to comply with the new federal law and increase inspections by the fall of 2016 or risk losing $7.5 million in federal funding for child care.
We absolutely need to ensure that where children are have some basic health and safety standards, and we just can't afford not to do that.
Johnson and Assemblywoman Garcia both credit NBC Bay Area and CIR's joint investigation with what they call changing the conversation and forcing state policymakers to confront the issues with daycare oversight.
It's significant. It's really significant how much has changed in a short amount of time.
Thank you for all the hard work you've been doing to make sure that this got to our desk and we got it done.
Now, state officials said they were too busy this month to sit down and answer our questions about what exactly has changed in this system. But they did email us a statement saying in part, quote, "We are working with our federal and state partners to better understand the impacts of this new federal legislation." If you want to read the entire statement or see more of these inspection records, just go to our website, NBCBayArea.com. We have a link for you. And by the way, this is going to cost millions of dollars, but if California doesn't do it, it's going to cost even more.
I think there's a lot of
something's
parents
got to be done here.
thanking you this evening.
You bet.
A lot of parents will be looking at that, that's for sure.